Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Bible Talk from the Green Room. Revelation in 31 days. We're getting close to the end here. We're on day 22 of 31, and we're going to be in Revelation 17 today. Thanks for joining us. As we look in our notes today, talks about the destruction of Babylon, which was mentioned in chapter 14 and verse 8, and chapter 16, verse 19. And now it's going to be described in more detail. In the Old Testament, Babylon was often denounced by the prophets that the name became synonymous with immorality and false religion. The name Babylon should be understood as an evil world system, not in terms of geography. Chapter 17 describes it here. When we look at the fall of ecclesiastical Babylon, 17, and we'll be in verses 1 through 18. One of the seven angels who had the seven bowls now comes to John and says, "Come, I will show you the judgment of the great prostitute who is seated on many waters." The word prostitute is a metaphor for false religion here. This indicates there will be one worldwide religious system. With ecclesiastical Babylon, the kings of the earth have committed sexual immorality with wine. Of those sexual immorality, the dwellers on earth have become drunk. This indicates it says the great spiritual whore here has the support of the whole world. Her false teaching is so enticing, her followers are described as drunk or intoxicated with the teachings here. John is carried away by the Spirit into a wilderness and sees a woman sitting on a scarlet beast that is full of blasphemous names. It has 7 heads and 10 horns. The beast is the Antichrist. So the harlot sitting on him suggests a religious political coalition here. The 10 horns represent the 10 kings who are subordinate to the Antichrist. Prostitutes usually dress to entice. Therefore, this one here is described as arrayed in purple and scarlet and adorned with gold and jewels and pearls, holding in her hand a golden cup full of abominations and impurities of her sexual impurity. On her forehead is written, "Babylon the Great, mother of prostitutes and of earth's abominations." And when we look further in the notes here, the angel promises to interpret the mystery of the woman and the beast, which is so baffling to John, as we see in verse 7. The angel explains the beast is about to rise from a bottomless pit and to go into eternal destruction. The angel who tells him the people who do not have their names written in the book of life will be amazed to see the beast, the Antichrist, because it was and is not and is to come. The angel is referring to the beast resuscitation of the previously dead nation back in chapter 13, 3, 12, and 14 is mentioned. This evidently happens in the middle of the Great Tribulation. The beast ascended out of the abyss in 11:7, making this section precede that event chronologically. The angel next goes on and explains the 7 heads are the 7 mountains on which the woman is seated. There are also 7 kings, 5 who have fallen. One is, the other has not yet to come. And when he does come, he must remain only for a little while, as we see in verses 9 and 10. This could represent 7 Gentile world empires, of which 5 have fallen, such as Egypt, Assyria, Babylon, Persia, and Greece. None of these empires ruled the world, but they were the greatest empires of their time. The one that is, which existed at this time, was Rome, is who they're talking about there. The other is not yet to come. And that refers to the beast and the final world empire of the Antichrist. Like other world empires, the Antichrist and the 7th king is also going to destruction, as we see in verse 11. While the 6th of the 7 heads represented past empires, the 10 horns are the 10 kings, or contemporary world leaders who are going to receive authority as kings for 1 hour, which is a brief time, together with the beast. 17:12 explains that a little more. They will unite and support the beast to make war against the Lamb. This is going to happen at the Battle of Armageddon, which is going to be described in detail in chapter 19. When Christ returns to defeat Satan, he's going to have with him the called, the chosen, and the faithful, which refers to the true believers. The phrase called and chosen is reminiscent of the words of Jesus in John 6:44a. That'll give you something to look up today. The waters in verse 15 were explained on the previous message here that we talked about. The angel explains the 10 horns and the beast, the Antichrist, will hate the prostitute. 17:6a explains that. After using false religion to gain control of the world, the Antichrist is going to make her desolate and naked and devour her flesh and burn her up with fire. This indicates the Antichrist will plunder her wealth and totally destroy her. While the time is not given, it sums up these events in the middle of the 7-year tribulation. Look at Daniel 9:27, Matthew 24:15. When the beast takes over world power, he's going to assume the place of God and demand that everyone worship him or die. 2 Thessalonians 2:4, Revelation 13:8 and 15. The angel further explains here, God has put into their hearts to carry out his purpose of being one mind and handing over their royal power to the beast until the words of God are fulfilled. The beast and his followers will think they're serving their own ends, but it's all a part of God's plan. Finally, the angel explains the woman that John saw is a great city that has dominion over the kings of the earth, and that's in verse 18 there. Apparently, the false religion is a prostitute who'll be centered in some great city with such power that has control over world leaders. Not only will there be a fall of ecclesiastical Babylon, but also there's going to be a fall of commercial Babylon that we'll get into tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in today for day number 22. Y'all have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow for day 23, and we'll be in Revelation 18.